this one is a continuation. Okay, so District 20 back streets. So we're finally here, huh? Heathcliff looked out the rattling bus window with a dour expression. Though it wasn't raining, the world outside was grey and opaque like an overcast sky. Black pungent clouds of smoke had long devoured the atmosphere. So this is the kind of place Heathcliff used to roam. The call remains grey this deep into the heart of the back streets. I recall with quite the certitude that the T-Corp I arrived at after my departure from S-Corp was sepia-hued. Yes, we saw it in the flashbacks, as well as like the space that the Golden Bough created. This phenomenon can be explained by the fact that the technology used to drain our saturation is situated at the center of T-Corp. It has been reported that such variations in hue may occur in areas further away from its sphere of influence, so at least. Okay. So this is funny because this is the way you know, when you're editing a video and you're trying, or even just editing a photo, you're trying to play around with the contrast. It really is at the center. It really is at the center situation 0, right? And then you go negatives to the left and then positives to the right. So it's the same. I understand. Then 2 other sinners immediately jumped in on the conversation to direct it away from whichever obscure subject Yi-sung and Faust were about to steer into. Oh, right. I had something to ask you guys. Oh yeah, me too. What? I mean, yeah, that's a... Oh yeah, the buildings here look a little different from where Yi-sung used to live. So I'm just wondering if there's anything up with that. Exactly, that's exactly what I was about to ask. It's been a while since we started on this journey together. I was starting to grow more comfortable with the sinners. Maybe that's why I found Gregor and Rhodia's valiant effort to keep this conversation remotely comprehensible to most occupants of the bus pretty amusing. Allow me to elaborate then. To discuss this subject, we must first... And Yi-sung unknowingly shooting down their effort by jumping onto another complicated discussion was another sight I'd become familiar with. While I was curious about the technology T-Corp uses to drain our color and about the behind the scenes of T-Corp's operations, it wasn't something that could be answered now. I decided to table the discussion for later. Instead, I approached Heathcliff. He was sitting on his lonesome, clearly in deep thought. Clockhead. Still racking your head about what to wear to Wuthering Heights? What? No, it's nothing like that. Heathcliff protested, jumping up from his seat. Looks like I hit the nail on the head. Fine, I was. A little bit. But I was mostly reminiscing. I do remember hearing that Heathcliff used to live in the back streets. A part of some syndicate, if I recall correctly. Virgilius did say that we were going through the back streets instead of going straight to the T-Corp nest for a reason. And that it was because of the company's orders. Maybe there's something for us to do here. Heathcliff did spend some time in the T-Corp back streets after all. Maybe we'll run into a Golden Bough here. No chance. If the Golden Bough was as common as any other twig in some back streets, why'd we be doing any of this globe-trotting waste of time? True, I guess. Besides, Wuthering Heights is quite the manor in more ways than one. You won't find it anywhere near some rundown back streets like this. There's a chasm of wealth between these poor alleyway sods and them. After all, they've sent me an invitation. Quite obvious that we'll find our Golden Bough in that manor in it, or at least somewhere in the same nest. Correct. We will eventually travel to T-Corp's nest. Heathcliff continued to speak in a low voice, The hubbub from outside the bus seemed to blend with his words, turning into a mass of murmurs. There was a sort of commotion outside. Before we talk about wherever our eventual destination is, we'll have to clear the road of some blockage. Your intuition is half right, Heathcliff. Heathcliff, who was muttering to himself in an uncharacteristic daze, jolted awake. Bloody hell, what's wrong with you when the vroom lasts? Neither of you ever do anything with a proper forewarning. I simply did not see the necessity of warning you. Anyway, those outside the bus are our targets. Targets? I believe that he means to say that they must be eliminated. I feel compelled to let you know that this is not the only implication of the word target, though I am yet to be informed of the precise details of this mission, that is. Regardless, you are to make contact with a target among them. Find the target, then extract the necessary intel. Is this clear enough for you, manager? How are we supposed to find this target, if you're not even going to tell us who it is? Dante asks if there are any identifying characteristics to this target. I'm sure you'll find out when you get there. You are asking me questions I have no answers to, Dante. Don't waste your time. Oh. Well, off the bus, I was somewhat wary of the way Virgilius answered me, but even in murky situations like these, we've always managed to pull through anyway. I'm sure things will get a little clearer once we get there. I slowly disembarked the bus with the rest of the sinners. That one's headed your way, Aniki. Aniki. Wait. Don't worry about me. I'll handle him. Try not to get yourself killed. You got that? What a mess. We walked out of the bus and right into what appeared to be a battlefield with a violent gang war. Black cloaks flutter under the gray sky and bloodthirsty blades clash violently. The bus had stopped not even 30 paces away from the thick of the battle. There... the Kurokumo Clan. Oh! Okay, I was gonna say, why not Hyung? Why not, in Korean? So, okay, Black Cloud, here we are. Kurokumo Clan, I've heard of them before. I'm sure we had some identities from that syndicate. Okay, so this is why the music is like this. Some identity card said Wakashu, too. They're a pretty large subsidiary of an even larger syndicate called the Thumb. Okay, I think the identities wore similar outfits similar to ones they're wearing here. I think you're right, but who are they fighting? It's gotta be a strife. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Heathcliff replied in a monotone voice like he was reading from an encyclopedia. It ain't a rare sight to see syndicates fighting one another or in the back streets. Must be something about street tax or some trivial turf dispute. Leeches! If I'd known better, I would have said leches. Oh, milk is good though. Leeches, blood-sucking curse seeking to oppress and exploit the weak with violence. Fie, there is nary a place these come do not infest. It ain't anything new, lass. Most syndicates are like that. The only difference between them is how far they're willing to go. Like, right. There he is. Like, right, there he is. Bloke's like that one over there, the one walking right at us. Heathcliff raised his bat and pointed it at the approaching man. Oh, he wore the same outfit as the other Kurokumo Clan members. The hell are you looking at? Crowding like you're here to start shit. Gonna keep pointing that bat at me? You wanna go? Is that it? Hey, lower your weapon. Let's not do anything rash. No need to escalate this further, is there? Otis stepped in to warn Heathcliff, but he did not budge. He remained motionless, the bat still raised and pointing threateningly at the approaching man. Won't matter what we do here, it's a foregone conclusion. We're going to have to fight him? Right on, lad. They're in the middle of a strife. They'll be real sensitive about making it clear that this is their turf. What better way to do it than forcing some unwitting travelers to pay the toll for the road? Looks like we've got a smart one here. The Kurokumo Clan henchman strutted before us like he owned the place. Just as I begin to wonder about how dumb you could possibly be, you show your shrewd detective side. Gotta say, it's a real mystery. Ishmael muttered at Heathcliff, who was shrugging at us with an expression that clearly read, "I told you so." Well, since it looks like you clowns already know how this works, let me get straight to the point. The toll is 5,000 an per person. 500,000 an? Let's see here. Now, 2, 1, 2, right. I count 13 of you here, and since you guys all rode in on a bus, I'm sure there's a driver in there too. Why am I reading this a bit robotically? I don't know. Don't you skimp out on us. Now. I'd like it if we didn't have to make this business messy. I'd like it if we didn't have to make this business messy by going through the bus ourselves. Did you hear that, Dante? This is totally a highway robbery. Kind of is, it? It kind of is, isn't it? Well, it didn't really matter how much they were asking for. I wasn't going to negotiate with them anyway. Ishmael turned and looked quietly in my direction. I nodded back. Halt, there, in that field of battle. Don Quixote pointed at something. There lies a wounded dame. We must make haste and rescue her. Thou wouldst agree, no? Just as Don Quixote said, I could catch a glimpse of someone bleeding out on the ground through the chaos of clashing blades and black cloaks. Oi, what did I say about this justice rubbish? This is syndicate turf war, yeah? No one's more or less honorable than the other. Agreed. It is no complicated mathematics to expect unnecessary allied casualties in this effort, should we involve ourselves in this conflict. Alas, I do not wish to leave her behind so undefended. I guess it's an improvement. In the early days of our adventures, we would have been dragged into this conflict 5 minutes ago thanks to Don Quixote's recklessly valiant rescue attempt. Yes, remember what happened in Canto 3? I suppose she's learned her lessons by trials of fire. She was starting to show restraint for once. But it's a bit different this time. Okay, so I don't think that we have to help that woman, but... Oh! What? Manager? I didn't think that this was what that nod was about. No, I'm not saying that we should get involved because it's the right thing to do or anything like that. If Virgilius was telling us the truth earlier, there is a chance that we were purposefully made to drive right through this strife, which means that there must be something here they're expecting us to find. They always put us in danger's way for a reason, after all. I just have a feeling that the wounded woman might have something to tell us, maybe an intel of some kind. And if it turns out that we were supposed to get that intel from the Kurokumo Clan and not that woman, then I suppose we'll have to beat it out of them. Oh-ho! Marvelous executive manager. Otis, I'm actually awestruck by your genius. Actually, is she implying that her usual flattery is phony? I don't like the way you're treating the Kurokumo Clan like we're some pack of stray dogs. And don't think I missed that sympathetic look you gave her, which could only mean that you clowns are chummy with the Blade lineage. I could practically hear our negotiations. Not that I was going to negotiate falling apart as the man drew his blade. A rational deliberation followed by a sensible decision. I will return my appreciation for your magnificent leadership with a flawless victory. All units, prepare for battle. SAD, all bark, no bite. Truly a disappointment. While the rest of the sinners were slowly recovering from the excitement of battle, Don Quixote did not waste a second before bolting forth to the woman's side. Oh, dang. Hark, art thou? I must check thy pulse. Oh, you can check her pulse through her forehead. Didn't know that was possible. The lady lives. So this lass has the intel we need. The sinners one by one began to gather around the woman. She was dressed in an all-black garb like the Kurokumo Clan members, but her weapon and her outfit were unmistakably distinct. Blade lineage, huh? I looked around at the defeated Kurokumo Clan members, then back at her. The difference became even more apparent. Don Quixote slowly and tragically shook her head after checking the pulse on others. Executive Manager, I have questioned some Kurokumo Clan members during the battle, but no notable intelligence have been gained. So it's just her, then. I hope my gut feelings prove me right. The lady doth appear to be the sole survivor. We must move her to the bus and administer first aid post haste. What dost thou say to that? Yeah, don't see any other way. We don't carry a first aid kit with us, and I can't turn the clock to heal her, so... Merso, do you mind carrying her back to the bus? I do not. Thus, we made our way back to the bus, Merso carrying the dying Blade lineage member. I see that you've hauled in another baggage. Virgilius didn't seem very happy about this. Manager, since when did bringing in unauthorized and verified guests into our bus become such an acceptable practice? We had no choice. We had to save her first if we're going to get any answers out of her. Dante explains that this individual will be of no use to us deceased. If she carries the intel we need, then we must first ensure that she survives. I love that Dante speaks, so casually, and then Faust is like the business email version. On that, Faust agrees with Dante's decision. What's done is done. However, do be mindful of bringing in strangers onto this bus from now on, Dante. I had a feeling that Virgilius had much more to say than that, but he simply sighed and dropped the subject. Welp. I believe that Manager Esquire hath made a decision most just. Thanks. Just as I was starting to dread that this bus was doomed to be eternally uncomfortable, Yi-sang emerged from the back door with the good news. I have done what I can, now. And before he even finished his sentence. Wow. She's back in shape? Yi-sang, what did you do? The woman was awake. Where? TB. The bus. Welcome to the bus. And oh, we are... An Odachi? Huh? The Blade lineage woman sprang from her prone position, grabbing the sword next to her. She held the grip of her blade, ready to draw it at any moment. Identify yourselves. Are you with the Kurokumo Clan? No. So we're... Then why does that woman wield an Odachi? Oh! Because the Kurokumo is part of the thumb, right? And Ryoshu has something to do with the fingers. She will not listen. We should kill her. Ryoshu! She pisses me off for two reasons. One, she refused to listen, making this conversation longer than it needed to be. Two, she dared to compare their scrap metals to my blade. Is there any reason for me not to proceed with her OOF clock? I think I heard her grip her sword. Yeah, there is. She can't tell us anything if she's dead. Ryoshu often shows outbursts of emotions in the most unexpected times, but at least she listens when I ask her to, which is a relief. I suppose your blade is not exactly like theirs. Your uniform is certainly different. And you? Who might you be? You certainly wear a rather loud timepiece. Are you unable to communicate otherwise? They are our manager. Their vocalizations will not reach your ears. I recognize the scent your voice carries. It's familiar. What do you mean, scent of your voice? Like toothpaste? Mouthwash? Bad breath? Even in the districts that I have resided in, I've not met fellows who speak as I do. Wait. What does that mean? Did he mean like his manner of speaking? Speak as you do, indeed. Yet I sense familiarity in your choice of verbiage. Wait, she just did the same thing. You must be from District 19, S-Corp, are you? Though I have fled, that is where I hail from. I see, so you have also left your home behind. My compatriots oft share the same fate as we do. Okay, Okay, this is such a nice thing to, like, present, not accent, but like regional dialect in some ways, because, you know, in Korea, of course, there's Korean, but there are, like, I don't know, they call it banmal. No, not banmal. Banmal is informal way. I think, like, you know, in Japanese they have keigo, and they have like the usual one, the formal language, and the polite language, and the informal language. In Korea, it's something like that as well. Gosh, I forgot the term, but it's like when you're from Seoul or when you're from Busan, you have like something regional in your voice. So, in your choice of words as well. So, like, yeah, I think you guys can understand that. Okay. This is so cute! Perhaps meeting someone from the same home district helped. The woman visibly relaxed before slumping down on a nearby chair. Her breathing was labored. My name is Yisang. I have operated on the wounds you have suffered. Ah, so I have acted with such brutishness despite your kindness. Please accept my apologies. Call me Aeng-du. I am a Salsu from the lineage that deals in blades. Oh, Dante, maybe we can leave the talking to Yisang this time. Looks like we can sit back and let him handle this. I nodded. You know, Yisang has been getting a lot of the spotlight since his chapter got released. I'm so happy for him. If you're from District 19 S-Corp territory, then you must be aware of who we are. I am somewhat aware, though I am far from acquainted with tales from the streets. I have heard that the blade lineage is bound to no master, no land, yet whence do you flee? So they're kind of like the Ronin, I guess. It is a tale far too long to be shared in full. All I may divulge is that we had no choice but to seek a territory for us to thrive in. Perhaps there is aught that we could to assist, should you deign to impart us the particulars of your pursuers. Aeng-du shot a sweeping glance at all of us. Her eyes appeared heavy with crushing exhaustion. If you and your fellows were skilled enough to defeat this group of foes, then all of you must be quite capable. Kurokumo Clan has put a bounty on our heads. Our mentor, my fellows, all of us. Hold on, this ain't just any other strife then. That sounds more personal than your usual turf war. As it has always been, District 19 is fraught with corruption and disturbance to the lives of the public. There is very little that us men and women of the blade, who seek not else but to train and walk the path of martial arts, can do to change the wing, known as... what is this? Salpipyo Agro Industries, or S-Corp. Salpipyo. I don't know what that means. So... as the old saying goes, what other choice does a monk who abhors his temple have to leave it behind? Thus we have departed from our home. So the people of S-Corp suffer still. We had departed in search of a new home, yet it was no easy journey. Most territories have already been made home by others. In order for us to settle, conflict was unavoidable. In the midst of those conflicts, I have the memory of our mentor bringing us an invitation to enter a library of sorts. Ruina? Oh my gosh. Virgilius, who had been sitting quietly with one leg over the other on a chair far from the rest of us, visibly reacted. that mental image of Virgilius on a chair. Nice. I think I remember that the word library always got a genuine reaction out of Virgilius. You have the memory. Quite an odd way to rephrase your own recollections. We arrived at the library, hoping to escape the Kurokumo Clan's clutches. But all we had done was to lead ourselves to just another field of battle. We were handily defeated. Then, all of a sudden, we found ourselves stranded in the back streets of T-Corp. Upon our waking, the bizarreness of such an experience can only be described by an expression just as odd. Mentor bamboo-hatted Kim! Her eyes suddenly widened mid-sentence. Aeng-du leaped from her seat. I believe that our mentor remains there still. We must make haste to Yong-jin building. Be not so hasty. Such wild movements may tear the wounds that I have. What the heck? Is she dead? It is no surprise that a sudden rise in blood pressure in lieu of blood supply would cause one to faint. She has merely lost her consciousness. You were right, manager. She did have some useful intel for us. Yong-jin building. I suppose we have some business there, then. Maybe, but I'm not sure. I don't know what this has to do with our mission, if any. Or maybe it's that library that we should... Danger, danger. Bunch of people in Mephi's way, swinging swords around, black clothes. Passengers, move out! Protect Mephi! Executive manager, they appear to be the Kurokumo Clan's reinforcements. Well, what can we do? We'll have to think about this later. For now, let's take care of the reinforcements. We returned to the bus after dispatching the Kurokumo Clan members that attacked the bus. Oh, this is a new person. Okay. It's kind of like, almost like Sod and Effie. Would this be the after team? I mean, the before team, we saw them. I don't know what this is. Okay. Only to be greeted by an unfamiliar face. There was a woman sitting in the foremost seat of our bus. Interesting, guide. I believe that we've both made it quite clear that no guests are to board the bus without prior consultation. That discussion was not even an hour ago, in fact. Yes, we did. No outsiders, to be exact. Isn't it clear as day as to who she is? I noticed that she was wearing a familiar uniform with the logo CLEAR emblazoned on her chest. Are you from the LCCB? Oh, yeah, got it. LCCA, the after team, manager clock. Right, I could see that she was wearing a red emblem on her shoulder. Huh? Wait, can she hear what you're saying? No, don't have any talent in TikTok interpretation either, but it was pretty easy to tell with that blank, stupid look on they were giving me. Don't you even have the common decency to mince your... Ishmael scowled, about to tell the woman off until she coughed and collected herself. Maybe she suddenly recalled her old attitude. I am team leader Cayman. Like the alligator. Crocodile. I don't know. Limbus Company Clearance After Team, Normal Operations Unit 2. I don't think I've ever seen anyone from the after team in person. Of course not. All of them blokes do is sweeping... Of course not. All of them blokes do is sweeping in to pick up spoils after we've done all the hard work. But they're also the ones collecting us. And also, I don't know, taking care of us when we black out, maybe. Let me set something straight, Backstreet Smut. What? The after team is charged with the cleaning up the mess you ungrateful wastes of lives leave behind. Sweeping in to pick up the spoils? No. We do the very difficult work of sweeping your stinking shit under the rug. Wastes of lives? Is that how you guys see us? Oh, that's not all. Wastes of lives, bumper cars, the most expensive bus in the world, meat shields, maniacs with more luck than they deserve, and then some. Doesn't seem like the most relevant conversation topic for now, though. Wow. Wow. You better change your tone. Now. If you give me one reason to, then I will. Unfortunately, it is my personal philosophy to be stubbornly set in my ways, unless I'm given a good reason to change. Sure, it's your job to collect the golden bows no matter what, but I'm having a lot of troubles scrounging up even an ounce of respect for a group of half-wit idiots who don't give a damn about people who have to clean up after them. Well, it's not like we can help it. That's enough, team leader came in. Very well. I wasn't sent here to reprimand them. I'm here to relay the orders from the head office. Cayman produced an envelope, opened it, and pulled out a paper from within. She began to read it out loud. LCB, additional mission assignment prior to T-Corp, Golden Bow Retrieval Operation. 1. Eliminate and or secure the distortion in the area. Number 2. Recover the monolith, an artifact in the shape of a black steel from the same site. A monolith? What's this now? Distortion? Are you saying that they've already distorted? I don't know. Limbus company clearance is not a part of this extra operation. I was merely ordered to relay this information to you as I happen to be taking care of some other job at T-Corp. I believe that our one and only mission was to recover the golden bows. Since when did it become our job to play errand boy fixers? Since now. Besides, I don't see what the difference is between an average errand boy and your team. All you ever do is picking up and delivering the golden bows, no? Right, I guess the after team is full of grouches like you, huh? Rodion grumbled like she was imagining a department full of caimans. Cayman quietly took a sweeping look at the complaining sinners, then approached me. Manager Clock. Yes? Can't hear what you're saying anyway, so just listen. Allow me to kindly explain some things for you and your minions, since all of you appear to be out of the loop. Cayman crossed her arms and leaned against the bus seat as though she was about to start a lecture. LCB's primary objective is to retrieve the golden bow, yes, can't deny that. But parading around telling everyone that Limbus company specializes in retrieving the golden bows would be stupid, don't you agree? And it's not exactly the most lucrative business, if at all. I suppose so. I've been wondering about the company's finances for a while. Where do we even get the funding from? Our funding from? Well, there's no need for you to concern yourself with that company's finances. We have much more than enough capital to do what we want. What the company really lacks, however, is public standing and a cause. A cause? Limbus company decided to find our cause in distortions. No significant organization has yet taken charge of managing instances of distortion phenomenon. Okay. Faust told me some time ago that it hasn't been long since the distortions began appearing in the city. Limbus company is building our reputation as a professional distortion prevention and control company that doubles as a research center for the distortion phenomena. That was a mouthful. Which means that we need to produce real results in more ways than one, that is. I did hear that this epidemic of distortion phenomena can be pretty annoying to deal with. No one has properly defined what these distortions truly are. This means that not many are willing to jump into dealing with this new phenomenon blind. We did hear that some are preparing to launch an association primarily dealing with distortions, but that's all it is, an association. We intend to deal with it on a corporate level. Right, but how's any of that our business? What reason do we have to go out of our way to tussle with those distortions? Here's how it's your business. The order came all the way from the top, the highest authority of our company. Don't they teach you how to follow orders in the slums? Ha, that does it. You're not leaving this bus alive. Manager. Cayman ignored Heathcliff, who was visibly fuming, and turned to face me. My attitude toward your minions, and the company's attitude toward them. It all depends on the choices you make, and your leadership. With that, she produced an envelope from under her arm and handed it over. At the end of the day, though, the choice is yours. Your men aren't completely wrong. If you would like to focus solely on your primary mission, the golden bows, then fine. It's not like the company's going to kick you and your meat shields out. But do understand that the company's treatment of the sinners may change, depending on what you decide to do here. This wasn't in our job description! Virgilius listens quietly, his eyes shut. Now then, Red Gaze, I'll be taking my leave now. Until next time. Fine, but next time I'd prefer it if you would watch your language. These meat shields are still under my guidance, so try not to disturb me as well. Ooh, Virgilius on our side. Well, that depends on what the manager does, doesn't it? Excuse me. You know, she kind of gives me the vibes of the Arbiter. Like, you know, in John Wick movies, there was the Arbiter who was talking to the hotel manager. It's like, I'm gonna shut your hotel down. This is the vibe I get. She left, leaving nothing but the awkward silence behind. Is she gone? Bloody prick. After that brief moment of quiet, everyone began sighing and complaining as though they'd just been ungagged. Almost burst a vessel listening to all that. I thought I'd softened my temper with age. Still, good work keeping things non-violent, guys. I don't think she said anything wrong, though. I found her manner of speech quite convenient. There was no need to unnecessarily read between the lines. I had little trouble understanding her and organizing my thoughts accordingly. I guess that's one way of looking at things. Anyway, she's right that we really don't have much say in the matter. If the company asks us to do our jobs, we do our jobs. I don't have anything to add myself. I have no issues with following orders. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I tried my best to cheer up the sinners as I opened the envelope she left behind. Not much of note was in there. One old-fashioned walkie-talkie, a bunch of signed and stamped paperwork. And... huh? Mission location. Yong-jin building. Let's go, Karen. Yong-jin, right, Vert? I get it. I'm feeling it. Psst, psst. Here we go. Vroom vroom. Judging by their lack of surprise, both Karen and Virgilius already knew where to go. And the bus took off. Something continued to nag at the back of my mind during the frequent stops and combat encounters. There was one thing I just couldn't understand. This is pretty much expected from Virgilius at this point, but if he already knew where we were going and why, would it hurt to tell us for once? I muttered to myself while looking toward the back of the bus where Aeng-du slept. She was still out cold. Come on, Faust, I legitimately think that this is something we have to talk about. Can you please relay my question to Virgilius? If you won't do it, then I will. A journey can't always be sunshine and rainbows. Some friction is necessary. You there, guide. They really just shouted, you there! Otis relayed my question, then began to share some of her own grievances with Virgilius. A lot of her own grievances. Are you finished? Well, you're not wrong. I did hear most of the details through the radio. And here's why I didn't tell you in advance. It's because you're the kind of people who never learn until the problem crashes through from your front door. Would you have done anything differently if you knew in advance? It'll only serve to give you an excuse to whine about it. Virgilius, please. So there it is. What now, manager? Will you refuse this mission? How could I? They're already treating us like dirt. If I refuse this, I can't imagine how much worse it'll get. I'm sure you're thinking, how could I? And you'd be right. I can tell from the way he's looking at me that he already knew what I was going to say. I'm starting to wonder if he really can't hear me. Our guest is awake. You should go and ask her for directions, manager. Karen's intuition can only take us so far. Again, this would have gone much smoother if we had been told where we were going from the start. But like always, Virgilius felt the need to add comments like that before shutting me down and turning away. He'd already closed his eyes. Okay, anyway, do we not have GPS? Huh? We have like devices, but do we not have GPS? Allow me to explicate our present circumstances to her. Yi-san got up with an awkward smile in an attempt to clear the air. After some time, Yi-san seemed to have successfully explained our circumstances to Aeng-du. She was standing next to Karen, trying to give her proper directions. She had also told us as long as we assisted her with her mission, she wouldn't mind taking us back. She wouldn't mind us taking the black steel for ourselves. Turn to the right there. They've already set up camp there. People dressed in Kurokumo Clan garbs were wandering around the building, standing guard before its entrance. I have to mentor bamboo-hatted Kim! Delaying further will only allow the distortion to grow more powerful. We must enter the building as soon as possible. Aeng-du had already leaped out of the bus and was rushing in with her weapon drawn. We quickly followed suit. Damn it. Looks like this was the last one of them. The aroma of blood, some splattered fresh, some old and growing, some old and growing viscous. I can already tell that there will be a collage of different blood splatters waiting for me in there. I'm excited to see this collection for myself. This one expresses brutal thoughts with such nonchalance as one muses about their next meal. Whichever may be the case. The way is open. We must move with haste. Aeng-du did not hesitate for a second before disappearing into the building's entrance. Man, I'm impressed by her energy. Wasn't she knocked out cold just a few minutes ago? It is sheer willpower that moves her. What other choice does she have when her superior is captured? From the name alone, I expected Yong-jin building to be much taller than 6 floors. Building and all. It is a common naming convention in backstreets. I looked up toward the rooftop of the building Honglu was looking at, and suddenly grew curious. What time is it right now? Need a mirror? My head doesn't actually tell time, you know. It's 2:10 in the afternoon. 2 in the afternoon. It's not midday, but it's not supposed to be this dark, is it? How is it this gloomy and dark at 2 in the afternoon? I'm starting to lose my sense of time in here. Seems particularly dark around this area we're in. While compared to the smoke war days, it's still as bright as a sunny day. I suppose that's true. The back streets of T-Corp are known to be in a perpetual state of murkiness. Their machines ceaselessly discharge heavy plumes of smoke, which clouds the sky. That and the constant color drainage keeps the back streets of T-Corp dark and dreary. Of course, I must also inform you that the conditions have improved somewhat after the smoke war, due to the various extenuating, prohibitive conditions introduced by the outcome of that war that limits the production of smoke. Before the war, we have no time for idle chatter. Come now. We hurried toward Aeng-du's urgent cries. Okay. So Faust was saying that a lot has changed since the smoke war days. So there were a lot of manufacturing, so smoke coming out. I think we saw those in Yi-sang's backdrop, right? Like there were lots of factory looking things, if I remember correctly. Whoa. Yong-jin building, first floor. There were more blade lineage bastards left. What, the last took them all out already? They were nothing but mewling minions. The size of their bravado ill-matched their immature skills. They foolishly decided to stand their ground. Instead of retreating upstairs. An electric buzz of sorts played from the radio I had stashed in my clothes. Is someone calling this radio? The sound came much clearer when I unfolded the antenna from the radio. LCD here, can you read me? Acknowledge, come on, LCD! Limbus Company... DDD... LCD, question mark. The voice coming from the other end... Distortion. Limbus Company Distortion team. Probably. The voice coming from the other end of the radio was upbeat, to put it mildly, and very chaotic. Okay, I just have to press this button, right? Well, I'll talk, but it's not like you can hear. They actually TikTok. Oh right, I called you for a reason. I'm just calling you to relay a message, so don't bother responding, yeah? Oh, okay. We don't have much time, so let me keep it short. Remember that black steel you guys were sent to retrieve? The monolith? I'm picking up a super huge bump in the monolith signal in the area near you. That signal can force people to distort. For your information. Force people to distort? We have to contain it before that seeping signal goes completely out of control, okay? What the heck is this? Oh, my bad. I've got some stuff going on over here too, you know? Anyway, I gotta keep this short, so let me just emphasize that time is of the essence here. Over and out. The call dropped before any of us even had a chance to say anything. She's pretty lively, huh? We don't have time to sit around dumbfounded, Clockhead. Let's crack on. Okay, so many things are happening. Everyone, I think the elevator's broken. I see that you and your fellows now also have a reason to hurry. I say that we break through their lines and rise through the stairwell. What say you? We don't have a choice. Come on, let's go. I put the radio back in my pocket and began running up the stairs. God, oh man. Seriously, the stairwell is the real challenge, isn't it? Not the Kurokumo Clan guys. Curious, is it not? Huh? What is? That they filled the stairwell full of weaklings who clearly don't know what they're doing. Perhaps they weren't trying to stop us from going upstairs. Perhaps they were afraid of retreating upstairs. No, it can't be. Aeng-du's expression darkened. Maybe she had an inkling of a bad omen. Dost thou worry for thy mentor? Don Quixote carefully sidled to Aeng-du's side with a sympathetic expression. How could I not? What kind of person was Mr. Bamboo-Hatted Kim? Aeng-du appeared conflicted, as though she was having trouble organizing her own thoughts. She shook her head and sighed. He was a steadfast man. Protected what needed protecting, killed what needed killing. He was always one of the Blade lineage's finest. I dare say that he was one of the most skilled swordsmen within the lineage. A man of few words who always sought to take good care of those under his wings. If only he hadn't made that decision, my fellows would not have met such a terrible fate. Oh. Sinclair half opened his mouth, apparently curious about what that decision might have been. But he soon realized that this was probably not the time to pry and quietly closed his mouth. Whichever may be the case, I have no choice but to make haste. Wow, that rhymed. Then, we have no choice but to make haste with her. Did we just fight the Bicatula? Yes. Their appearances are rather dissimilar from what we have encountered before. They appear to have grown more acute. They are evolutions of each Bicatula. The kind of Bicatula one transforms into depends on the type of sin that one has embodied in life, so it is no surprise that there may be variations to them. Oh yeah, because there's like ire, gule, so that depends on the kind of sin. But we've never encountered anything like them before. Collecting the golden bough could have expedited the Bicatula growth process. Those boughs, they really have something to do with everything, huh? Our job is starting to look a lot more serious. Right, that reminds me. These Bicatula are each supposed to represent some kind of sin, right? Sin. My thoughts grow distant all of a sudden. No, the sinners grow distant while my thoughts draw nearer. Their voices grow muffled. The word sin feels oddly unfamiliar today. Oh. It appears that they have lost their sense of self, their original forms now forgotten to oblivion. Self. Aren't distortions kind of similar to that? Some people become distortions, and some people become Bicatula. I wonder what the difference is. I think I know. Planted in the hearts of all are seeds with ever-present potential to bloom. Oh. Executive manager? What do you say? How talked over you so I couldn't hear? So like, are our memories coming back? If you would allow me to continue, maintaining the self even at times of extreme stress could cause one to evolve into a distortion and... Oh. When the light of that day descends upon the hearts of every human, blooming the seeds buried deep within. Manager? If once devoured by if once blank 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 devoured by their sins, they are reborn in the form of the blank, their image reflecting the blank 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 blank, dreamt by those who are nothing. Wait, I wonder if this is some kind of quote from a book. I would have said if one sense of, but this is for. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters. Okay, they are okay. Maybe I'll screenshot this. Dante. Dante, what is... Wait, we're glitching! We're glitching! Oh my god. Oh my god. If one withstands... Okay. Yet their sins, the heart disappears. Oh no, it's not that. What the hell, Clockhead? What in the bloody hell are you talking about? A little like the sound of that. Has something gone awry with their prosthetic head? Wow. Yet if one seeks to bear the shell of their original hearts. Egio? Is that what you're speaking of? Oh. And in a world perceived through their own, the blank shall be unveiled to blank their egos, melt into bite of sin. Oh my god! Oh my god, this is so wild! They're starting to talk a bit like my grandfather. Manager, your head! Oh my god, wait. Are we melting? Like, you know, the flames are eating our head? Executive manager, your head is on fire! Oh, like, literal fire. Oh, what a blaze. I think they're about to explode. Only those who can define their own self, S-E-L-F. Wait, we've got to do something before Clockhead bites it. Got any bright ideas, lass? I know not what to do. Only those who are awakened to their own heart? God, this scorching. I had thought that Manager Esquire's flaming head was merely for style, for I had not once felt such heat from it. Faust, what if they accidentally activated the self-destruct sequence? This heat, if we don't douse it now, it's going to melt everything around them. Yes, the operating principles are the same. Dante is, via the golden boughs, connected to the root of the sapling planted in the subterranean area of the headquarters. Which is to say that, okay, Dante is connected through the golden boughs with the root. Okay, so there's a root of root of the sapling planted in the subterranean underground. Okay, is this lobotomy all over again? Who gives a shit about boughs? We've got to douse the flames on their head. Water! Does anyone have water? We must make haste and douse the flames. Sometime later. Are you okay? Pray tell, art thou recovered? Aww. Dawn is crying. My eyes, if I had eyes, that is, opened slowly. I was lying on the ground, surrounded by the sinners. What happened? Do you not recall what had transpired? I guess I don't. I do remember walking up the stairs and suddenly feeling really dizzy. Executive Manager, you must visit a workshop to get that looked at as soon as we return. Huh? A workshop? Did I malfunction or something? Don't talk about them like you're talking about some machine. Either way, there isn't anything we could do about what just happened. Not here. Aww. There was a time that Dante also fainted, right? And Ishmael was also gonna whack them with a wrench. We can discuss this later once we return. What just transpired does not seem to pose any hindrance to our mission. Aeng-du, where is... She has advanced without us. While I remain curious yet concerned about your condition, we must reconvene with her. The situation calls for urgency. Yeah, okay. There was a lot I didn't understand, but since we're in the middle of an operation, let's deal with this first. Oh, so Dark Cloud Kurokumo. Why'd this have to break? Why now? There was a nervous-looking man on top of the stairs, on the uppermost floor of the building. I could immediately tell that this man was unlike any other foe we faced in this building. It better be quiet in there. I hope that thing at least stays put. He kept looking into his pocket watch as though he was expecting something awful to come out of that door. His garb, which highly resembles the Kurokumo Clan's standard outfits, suggests that he is a relevant individual in this case. It is possible to extrapolate from his outfit that he is of higher rank than any foe we have defeated on the course of this location. Then, before I even had the chance to suggest waiting for a bit to come up with a strategy, Aeng-du was already charging at the man. You must be a captain of the Kurokumo Clan. What the... You wish to hunt the blade lineage? Very well. Here I stand before you. Face my blade. Tsk. I suppose this means that my men are all dead, huh? I'd toss you into that office if I could, but... The merchandise is still in there. Ugh, come on. Suppose I've got no choice but to fight. At least allow me to introduce myself. Then you can tell me who you are. Name's June, captain of the boys you killed. Aeng-du, Salsu from the lineage of blades, a follower of mentor bamboo-hatted Kim. The hallway before the door falls silent. It is as calm as a winter dawn. The two warriors, blades drawn, begin to take cautious steps. It's as though they are attempting to gauge the distance between each other. Oh. Aeng-du moved. There was a sudden flash when I came to my senses. The pair had suddenly switched sides, facing away from each other. Yeah. The outcome of this clash. Come on, that's it, huh? Miss Aeng-du! Appears to have been Aeng-du's defeat. She fell to her knees. I mean, I was just getting started. I'm surprised you even had any energy left for that attack. She's been fighting the Kurokumo Clan henchmen on the front lines before we even had the chance to catch up. No wonder she's exhausted. I must also remind you that she was on the verge of death not so long ago. She has overexerted herself. What? Are the rest of you gonna fight me too? This hardly seems fair, me against all of you. This June rested his blade on his shoulders with an annoyed scowl. I could tell from his single clash against Aeng-du that he wasn't going to go down easily. Well, I don't like that we're all ganging up against this one guy, but... You've got one loud-ass clock for a head. What even is that? Is it some local T-Corp clock-shaped prosthetic fashion or something? It is a clock, right? You there. Is that clock head on time? Mate, what do you think? That clock ain't for telling time. Huh? Then what do you decapitate yourself for? What a useless clock. Okay then, any of you got a timepiece, a clock, a watch, anyone? My stupid watch broke again. The sinners wordlessly begin to surround June. I guess not. Are there any of you wearing a watch? You must all be insane. Sauntering about without a timepiece. Okay, so this pocket watch, I don't know if it's relevant to Heathcliff because, like, on the Christmas factory with the gnomes, he also was going to be a pocket watch ingredient, right? And then now, okay, we're talking about time, and we're in T-Corp, and the pocket watch, and he is also running out of time to look for a nice outfit and to be able to attend the party maybe on time. So yeah, even if I did, I would hardly find it within myself to show it to thee. You're all really getting on my nerves. You know what? That's it. I'll be in deep shit if I let anyone in there anyway. So come and get me. I'll cut you down if it's the last thing I do. Now let us converse for a moment. Aeng-du seemed to have recovered somewhat as we fought. She bound June with a rope before throwing him to the ground. I do not expect a mere captain to know why our organization has put bounty on our heads. But I cannot quite place the reason you were standing guard before this room. It was as though you were protecting our mentor from us, of all people. Wait, it wasn't just you, was it? Every Kurokumo Clan filth we killed on our way up to this floor stood in our path like they were protecting something with their lives. Fine, here's the truth then. We're the victims here. Whatever do you mean? You guys really have a way of pushing my buttons, huh? We weren't part of the party pursuing you or cutting you down. That was none of my business. You're just one of many, many syndicates or organizations that were unlucky enough to be on the Thumb's shit list. Our run-in was just a coincidence. Oh. We were ordered by the Thumb to stand guard next to a black steel here, that's all. Everyone was on edge because we were supposed to transport it elsewhere pretty soon. And that's when you Blade lineage bastards appear out of nowhere. Okay, I almost forgot about the black steel. That was also our goal. Out of nowhere? I see. So this is where our mentor has awakened. You sounds like you know something that I don't. Wow. Can't say I've never heard of a tech that could blip people into existence just like that. Thought they were using a singularity or something. So he was like teleported over here. I think she also mentioned that earlier. Besides, the Blade lineage never had a chance. Our numerical advantage was insurmountable. Of course. We had your friends cornered. We had no trouble cutting them down until there were but 3 of you left standing. Then all of a sudden, your boss's eyes suddenly began to glow, and he cut down everyone around him. It was a one-sided slaughter. What? Then you got that right. Blade lineage, Kurokumo Clan, it didn't matter. He cut through everyone. So what the hell was I supposed to do? What were we supposed to do? I'm their captain. The lives of my men are my responsibility. I had to save them somehow. Oh my god, you know how they always parallel the NPCs with the sinners? What if Dante is gonna lose their mind and just not bring the sinners to life or even kill the sinners? So I stayed behind to guard the door while my men guarded the entrance to this building. What other choice did I have? Shit. Delivery deadline's coming up. I'm finished. This won't end with me having to cut off a finger or two, damn it. Yeah, because in the Yakuza, right? So, Oh. Aeng-du struck the back of June's neck with a swift precision that dropped him to the floor. Aeng-du, that man had already been subdued. Wherefore didst thou? I have merely put him to sleep. He would have caused us trouble. We had attempted to enter that room while he was conscious. I must talk to the mentor. See him with my own eyes. Have you gone deaf, lass? Your boss will cut down anyone who gets too close. No, that cannot be. Dante, we can infer from what information we have gathered that... Yeah, I agree. There's a powerful aura coming from behind that door. I can sense it. Our mentor. Aeng-du's hands tremble as they wrap around the doorknob. We must prepare for battle. I know that Mentor Bamboo-Hatted Kim will not do such a thing. She slammed the door open. Oh. Only to come face to face with a distortion. So this is a distortion, the same way the chicken was also a distortion. So I guess that's the theme for... I don't know if I said this earlier, but yeah, I guess we can see that the theme for the Intervallo chapters are for distortions because it's like another side job of the LCB. Bamboo-hatted Kim? Mentor, what is this? I recognize these wounds. These are your techniques. How could you put your blade to our fellows? Attempting to communicate seems futile. Pitch black flames lingered behind this man she called Bamboo-hatted Kim, her mentor. Something had devoured him. There was something in his eyes. Fiendish malevolence. I could definitely sense it. This was a distortion. Cease your beastly howls and talk to me, please. Say something. Oi, don't get too close. The distortion unsheathed its blade in a blink of an eye. It sensed that something had entered its range. So this is the black steel behind that. That's tense. You're really going to kill... Get out of the way! As Aeng-du stood there confused, Sinclair urgently hurled himself in her direction, and in that brief moment, the distortion's blade descended upon them as though it bisected the very space they inhabited. I surmised that Sinclair has entered the distortion's range as well. We have no choice but to suppress it. We tensed up, sensing the changing atmosphere. We slowly raised our weapons. But like, how we deal with the distortion the first time was was it we tried to make him remember his mother's cooking, or was it the coupons? I forgot, but like it's the fried chicken that he knows by heart, right, from his memory. So I wonder what's going to come up with this one. Oh my god, Hong Lu's doing it! Oh my gosh. Bamboo-hatted Kim kneeled and caught his breath. Something began to shimmer behind him. This is a dungeon. A mirror dungeon of the Fathoms. This is just like the Ding Dong's bar in Friars, huh? It's Unbong's, Gregor. Unbong. So we're gonna enter, yeah, right over there into the mind and free him of the distortion. He has already entered the dungeon. So we've got to follow the bloke, eh? Yeah, we were ordered to secure the distortion as well, so... An immense, heavy sensation emanates from within that space. That monolith has to be somewhere in there, too. Let us follow. Oh, while she was clearly dumbfounded by the turn of events, I could tell that she was determined to see this to the end. We had nothing more to add. Advancing. Oh. This is... Crow's eye view. Look at that. This place has taken the likeness of Escorp. Wow, so Escorp is like an old dynasty, like in those Korean historical dramas, like Joseon or... Yeah. Wow. Okay, no wonder they speak like so formally, because... Okay, that's where the... their district was modeled from. Not just anywhere in Escorp. You call this place the Fathoms of Ego. It appears that Mentor Bamboo-hatted Kim's memories are affecting this place. Is there aught from his past that you are aware of? No, nothing in detail. I don't believe I have the right to divulge a depiction of his past based on hearsay either. Aeng-du continued in a morose tone. When he appeared so suddenly at this building, I don't suppose he had much trouble cutting down the Kurokumo Clan henchmen. I am certain he was flanked by competent men and women. It would not have mattered how many henchmen they threw against the mentor. They threw against the mentor. Nothing short of a Kurokumo Clan officer could have given him any trouble. In fact, I surmise that he would have been able to cut down 100 of their men on his own. But not all those who accompanied Master Bamboo-Hatted Kim were as powerful as he. His capabilities lie far beyond our own. His fellows must have fallen one by one before the endless onslaught of the Kurokumo Clan henchmen. And I cannot help but imagine that the sight must have reminded him of a rather tragic event in his past. An unpleasant event that likely shook Mentor Bamboo-Hatted Kim to the core. That alone fits numerous criteria that make it ripe for a manifestation of a distortion. He was in a very receptive state to the monolith's influences as well. So that is how the mentor became beholden to his blade, like a fiend. Yet, still, how could he? We remained wordless and advanced as Aeng-du despondently muttered to herself. It was all silent, save for the sound of our shoes slightly pressing into the soft soil beneath our feet. So that thing behind him is... Indeed, that is the monolith. The artifact must have entered his phantoms of ego the moment it imbued Bamboo-Hatted Kim with strength. This manor must be where the mentor's last protectee resided before we departed escort. Such massacre. Mentor, was this carnage the memory that has haunted your dreams, your waking hours for so long? Yet, the deaths of our dear fellows. Tear begins to well in Aeng-du's eyes. Again, something murmurs in my head. Is this Bamboo-Hatted Kim's past? A somber voice drenched with woe echoes in my head. For a fleeting moment, I once had this thing people call honor. Vile men whose hearts are consumed by evil oft approach virtuous officials to seek harm, and I considered it an honorable deed to be a protector of the virtuous, to hew those that sought harm against them. Yet to be virtuous in a world of the vicious was to be prey to the merciless world. And before such overwhelming might of the vicious, the irrevocably corrupt officials, my strength was inconsequential. I had little choice but to leave escort, cradling my broken spirit alongside my fellows. I have left my scarred honor behind at the land of my failure. We became vagabonds, lost, wandering and weary, aimless drifters without a place to call their home. Even their faith in my decision to leave began to crumble piece by piece. So did my faith in myself. I began to fall apart. I have already failed once. What's there to say that I'm not failing my dear fellows once again? This reminds me of the lobotomy crumbling armor, right? So it's like the samurai with, like, every time you do repression, I think he cuts you the head off. So I haven't read the backstory of that. So is it the same here? I wonder. The least I could do is help them lead a stable life. Yet that invitation I received only led them to their demise. In the end, I failed my mission. I failed my honor. I failed my dear fellows. Oh, again, I am returned to the land of my failure. The voice continued to murmur. but it had devolved into nothing but a low growl, a quiet and incoherent rumbling. I can't help but feel a bit of sympathy at his suffocatingly painful past. But that's exactly why we have to face him. Free him from this distortion. Guys, we're putting an end to this right here, right now. Yes, it appears that we have no choice. Aeng-du's grown far too agitated to function properly in this battle. It's all up to us now. Oh my god, Ryoshi is dead. Let's see him first. Wait. Okay, I guess we don't need to do this yet.
타겟 포착 1시간.
Aeng. Oh, just 30. Dragger, please. Oh my gosh. The dungeon. After a grueling battle, and as we finally managed to drag Bamboo-Hatted Kim to his knees. Oh. Like a mirage, the fathoms of ego began to fall apart. The monolith had already left the fathoms of ego and was back at the center of the office. Just as the office began to resemble the one we had walked into, the radio I carried began to buzz again. Hiya, can you hear me? If you do, give me a TikTok. TikTok. Very funny, Dante. You know, we just barely survived a deadly encounter, right? Well, she asked me to. Perfect, we really don't have much time left since it looks like the monolith's briefly stabilized. Let me teach you how to lock it down. Don't take too long or that distortion's gonna turn into an abnormal... Oh! Follow my instructions to a T and don't lag behind. It's all about precision and speed. She seems awfully cheerful for how dire the situation is. I followed the radio's instructions and reached out to the monolith with my palms. Ooh, some light came out of it when I reached out with my fingers. The voice coming from the radio was pretty nonchalant about all this, but it almost sounded like she could see exactly what I was looking at. Right, straight down from there. Yep, you're doing good. Now move left. Take it slow. Now. I couldn't help but wonder if I was doing this right, but I still followed her directions and drew a trail of light with my hand over the monolith. Mentor! The shimmering black tendrils began to withdraw from Bamboo-Hatted Kim's body. Maybe the distortion is withdrawing too? Good work, Detective. The levels are stabilizing. I can't seem to stop calling you Detective, huh? Sorry, old habits die hard, you know? Sounds like she's reporting to someone else on the other side of this communication. Good work. Bus dudes, LCA'll be there in a min, so just sit tight. Huh? LCA? Not that rude after-team lady from earlier? Well anyways, thanks for the assist. Everyone, LCD Distortion Task Force Ezra, over and out. Ezra! The radio shut off before any of us had a chance to say anything again. And not 5 seconds later. Wow. My, they're really piling in, huh? LCA, the Special Operations Unit. They look like robots. Like those AI cyborgs. Orders commencing secured item retrieval. Right, the item is custody target T276 confirmed and secured. Wow. Well, looks like our job is done here. I didn't even have to say anything, not that they could hear me anyway, before the uniformed troops marched in and started attaching various tools to the monolith. Trouble. No. Wait! Remember the abnormalities start with T, O, and F. Right? Wow. 27601. Which abnormality is this? What are you blathering about? Rewording. Where is the distorted individual? Ah, I am aware of whom you seek. He sits next to the monolith. Huh? Where has he gone? The individual by the name Aeng-du dragged him behind that sofa. Approximate time of event 3 minutes ago. Didn't I ask you to tell us if you noticed something important going on in the background? I will make an immediate report should an identical event occur. That's when I noticed that the LCA agents were growing visibly uneasy. Oh, dang. Alert. Abnormal reaction detected from an entity in T27601's proximity. And when that agent ran over and kicked over the sofa. Wait, Aeng-du's distorting? Miss Aeng-du! There was Aeng-du, her arms tightly wrapped around bamboo-hatted Kim. Oh. Oh. Her hand holding a blade that dug deep into her mentor's flesh. I know not of your painful past. I cannot possibly know in detail what you have gone through. But that cannot be a just reason, an excuse for cutting down your very own fellows. Miss Aeng-du, that man was not himself. If the blade has consumed my mentor, turned him into a fiend, then I will end him myself. It has to be me. Oh my gosh. No, not at all. At all. Excuses. That's all it is. If Mentor didn't bring some odd invitation to us. If he hadn't caused us to flee Escorp, our home to begin with. Oh yes, I hear you. Your voice is finally growing clearer. Yeah, oh my god. Suspicion. Phase 1 of the monolith reactivation process may have been engaged. We can't just let her be. She's going to distort. Merso, knock Miss Aeng-du out. Merso struck Aeng-du's hard. Merso struck Aeng-du hard before LCA agents even had a chance to do anything. Stabilized. Distortion nullified by the subject's loss of consciousness. Stab wound confirmed on subject T72601. Oh, wound not critical. Will not pose challenge to retrieval and recovery. I have carried out a task as you have ordered. Thank you. Whoa, what just happened? Was that caused by the monolith's influence too? A plausible explanation. The monolith was properly sealed, but its lingering influence seems to have seeped into her. Oh, hey, the levels went bonkers over there just now. The radio began buzzing all on its own again. Requesting radio. I will receive LCD's message. Okay. Acknowledged. Please speak. Huh? Oh, you're LCA, aren't you? I'm Ezra from LCD. Nice too. Acknowledged. Commencing sitrep. You know what? You're not the only one who knows how to cut people off. I already got your sitrep, okay? I don't need it. There are 2 people there, right? Just bring them on both over here. Negative. Exact orders state that retrieval targets are to be... Come on, loosen up some, huh? Concern. The monolith alone will be a difficult subject to contain. Oh, that's okay. Our very own our very own LCD team leader said she'll take care of it. Besides, that monolith, Detective and I have successfully retrieved that before. And considering that the 2 of them are both returnees from the library... Oh, right! They are from the library. Considering that the 2 of them have been both pulled from the edge of Distortion, it'll definitely help us with our records, don't you think? Understood. However, what the hell? Are we kidnapping them for some dodgy human experiments or something? Okay, so I know there's been scary rumors of kidnappings in T-Corp, but what we're doing here is completely unrelated, alright? I'd appreciate it if you just compare us with the likes of those Backstreets rumors. Sure, you guys can leave them there, but if we don't take them in, they'll distort and get killed. And who knows, the Kurokumo Clan or even the Thumb could catch wind of this and pick them up instead. I suppose you're right. Anyways, make sure to bring them in, both of them, okay? Acknowledged. Retrieving now. The call dropped. The agent swarmed around the pair, bound them, and disappeared out the door. All of it was done in one fluid, practiced motion. I don't know when it happened, but they'd already retrieved the monolith when that LCA agent picked up LCD's call. Right, so mission accomplished, huh? I guess so. Warning, recommended action for the manager. Immediate extraction from the scene. Imminent arrival of the Thumb, highly likely. So, after the middle is the Thumb. What I wouldn't give to see the look on their stuck-up faces. I think he's telling us to get out of here before the Thumb catches us red-handed. Correction, Limbus Company was already on a crash course against the Thumb the moment we commenced this mission. Oh, that makes sense. It'll only be a matter of time before they put the pieces together and realize that we're involved in what happened. Are you sure that we can handle not only the middle, but also the Thumb? Irrelevant. A foe is a friend, and a friend is a foe for Limbus Company. Whoa. Delayed. Extracting scene first. With that cryptic message, the LCA agent quickly withdrew from the scene. He knows something, but won't tell us what it is. At least that's what the impression I got from the way he spoke. I came to meet so many departments of the company in such quick succession. The LCA, LCD, LCCA. And the old question arose once again. Something I'd forgotten as we kept ourselves busy with the missions we've carried out so far. I really don't know much about this company I'm working for. And there's this mysterious Herman, and equally puzzling Damian. Maybe, in the grand scheme of things, I really don't know anything. Maybe what I know amounts to nothing more than a pinch of knowledge available to the powers that be. I thought we were pretty deep into our journey, but... This is everyone who has finished. I was starting to feel that, in the far future, if I were to look back on the records of this journey, we wouldn't even be 10 pages into the book. Well, it is a pretty thick book after all. I began walking back to the bus with the sinners, my head further mired in confusion. We really ran into a lot of people in such a short time, huh? Well, I'm pretty happy that I got to know more about the workings of this company. Once we returned to the bus, the sinners each began chattering away about what had just happened. I wonder what's going to happen to Aeng-du or Bamboo-Hatted Kim. That does not appear to be information we are privy to. Though we all work under the same company, all that the LCD shared with us was the name of our contact, Ezra. Then is Limbus Company truly kidnapping people for human You don't just start experimenting on humans like that. It's not something that just happened. Remember what that LCD woman said? Rumors are just that. Rumors. Gregor furrowed his brows as though some unpleasant memories of the past began flooding in. He dug into his pockets for a cigarette. Yeah, brings back memories of my mother. There's LCD, but LCA just seems really out of place. Even when compared to the other departments, it's like they're from a completely different company. As we made our way back to the bus, I slowly began to organize my thoughts on everything that's happened. I didn't know that it wasn't the most productive thing for me to do. Faust, you're not going to answer any of my questions, are you? I apologize. At the present moment, it is difficult for me to disclose any information that does not concern the LCB department. It's like impatience is a prerequisite for boarding this bus, manager or sinner. Virgilius sighed as he muttered. He must have seen me burying my clock head in my palms. Your journey will inevitably lead to the answers of all your questions, Dante. Just follow the path, and it shall be revealed. You have no reason to rush. Besides, Virgilius' gaze fixed for a brief moment slightly above my head. I wonder if he's looking at my flame. Yeah, he was going to burn himself. You know, did they put that flame on his head so that if he remembers his memories, he's going to just self-destruct? Wow. It's nothing. Perhaps your impatience is rubbing off on me. I suppose I shall find out along the way as well. Virgilius scoffed, muttered something incomprehensible to himself, then turned away from me. It was clear that he had no intention of continuing this exchange. Let's go, Karen. Been waiting for room time. Driving to the famous heights of T-Corp. Ah! My gosh. So, the bus took off once again, sometimes bustling, sometimes dead silent. Wow, okay, I thought that was very interesting. Yeah, right, we finished everything. We also don't have to go back and fight because we got everything. So, when this came out a year ago and the title was Yield My Flesh to Claim Their Bones, it was really intriguing to me, and I remember thinking, oh, this is so bad because I haven't finished the story yet, Ishmael's story, and I'm like, I'm never gonna get this. I'm never gonna finish this in time, but now I finally got to, and it's really, really good. I am someone who gets excited with the backstories and stuff, and this really delivered. It was fast, it was quick, it was like small bits and pieces, but we will eat these crumbs. And yeah, so going back to that title, looking at the bamboo-hatted Kim and how his distortion was about his honor being broken, or how failure of a leader he was, or how bad, well, not bad, but like how disappointing of a mentor he was to the people who followed him. And of course, like I said, these stories, the NPCs all parallel the sinners and Dante in some way, and it's like, you know, we were given the heads up that however the company will treat your sinners is up to you, Dante. So it's like you see the weight of responsibility on people's shoulders when they assume this position, and it's, I don't know, it's just really sad and broken, right? Because you see how Aeng-du also took it upon herself to avenge, quote unquote avenge her fallen fellows. So I don't know, this was sad, but at the same time I really enjoyed it. So yeah, and I have to say the music just slaps. Actually, it reminds me of Detrita. If you haven't heard it, I suggest you listen to it if you liked the bamboo-hatted Kim, like, OST boss fight. It's really, really good. So yeah, it's Detrita from Augusti, which is Suga of BTS. So yeah, and next we are going to venture into the heights of T-Corp. I honestly don't know what to expect for Heathcliff. I've had a chance to look back into Wuthering Heights last month, so yeah, it's still fresh in my mind. I just say I'm excited all the time because I really am, even though, you know, I don't have enough time to do things. Still, whenever I get on and get in the zone of reading and playing Limbus Company, it's all fun for me. So the next time we meet, I'll be seeing you at Wuthering Heights.